Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is John Fillmore, and welcome to another episode of the Stuff of Legends. This time featuring, I think a first in my channel, a fan suggestion. There we go, that's the word I was looking for, a fan suggestion. So someone recently subscribed to my channel, and that was nice of them, thank you. They suggested that I do the following for the Stuff of Legends, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. They suggested to do Latias, and since Latios is her brother and so closely knit, I thought, you know what, we'll do both of them at the same time. Now, Latias and Latios, they're cool looking Pokemon, right? I'll bring up Latios here for a sec. They're just cool looking Pokemon. They're not humongous legendaries like, you know, Zekrom, Reshiram, or, I don't know, Kyogre, Rayquaza. They're small little guys, but they're still cool. They have like their own mini arc in the games, in the anime, and I don't know, they're just, I think they have a special place in the Pokemon universe. So now in competitive world, it's not that, how would I say this? At least in VGC 2016, they're not that much used. Most people actually prefer to go for the more powerful legendaries, you know, the big guns. While Latias and Latios are not really a very threatening presence, or at least they're not very, how to say this? I'm trying to find the right word. They're not very present, but they can still be used because they're surprising. Not a lot of people, they don't think of VGC as a place for Latias and Latios, but I think they still could find an interesting place in there, right? So I'm just gonna do some analysis on them, and if you think like, hey, I want to do that, go for it. Then and leave a comment below and see how you want to run it. Anyway, so let's get into it, shall we? Latias and Latios, both are the same typing. They're dragon psychic types, right? Now that could work in your favor. Because it's a dragon, of course, it has resistance to water, electric, grass, and fire, and because it's also a psychic type, it resists fighting, which is nice, and psychic as well. So it has 6 resistances, but unfortunately those 6 resistances are also kind of counteracted by 6 weaknesses. It is interesting to see how those work out. Ice, which is quite common, because it's a dragon, of course. Bug, because it's psychic. Ghost, yeah, because it's psychic. Dark, because it's psychic. Dragon, because it's dragon. And Fairy, because it's dragon. I think, did I miss any of them? No, I didn't. Okay. So there are a couple of very predominant weaknesses in there, but if you work on the resistances, they can actually cancel each other out quite well. Oh, and of course, immunity to ground, because both actually have the ability levitate, and levitate, it nullifies anything like spikes, toxic spikes, or ground type attacks, right? So it's important to realize that you kind of have a flying type added to it, but not really, right? So let's take a look at some of the stats. Latias first. Latias has 80 in HP, 80 in attack, alright, not bad. Defense is 90, okay. Special attack is 110, special defense is 130, that's really nice, and speed of 110. So as you can see, it's a little bit more of a bulky Pokemon. It's kind of like a tank. It's not a wall because of that 110 special attack, but it is bulky, right? It can take a hit, and it's also just above the 100 speed tier, so it can outspeed a lot of Pokemon. So Latias and Latios could actually outspeed Garchomp. Take Garchomp out just to want to show you. I know I keep talking about Garchomp, but it is my favorite Pokemon, so oh well. Garchomp is just above the 100 speed tier, but Latias is comfortably above there. So if you give it full investment into its speed, then it will always outspeed a Garchomp, unless of course it has some sort of choice spec or something like that. No, not Choice Spec, that'd be silly. Choice Scarf. Then, you got a problem, but you don't see a lot of Choice Scarf guard jump out there. It will outspeed quite a lot of Pokemon, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's also a more special Pokemon, right? Like, Garchomp is more of a physical Pokemon, right? It likes to hit physically, and of course it has rough skin. While Latias and Latios have more investment into their special attack and special defense, right? The special defense of 130 is nothing to sneeze at, and if you give it full investment into its defense, it becomes really bulky indeed. You could theoretically also put it into its HP. That's what I see a lot around Smogon and things like that. But it is a possibility. If you are going to run a Latias, again, I would suggest you could actually run full into speed to just make the outspeed even better, right? To make it a fast, bulky support, because that's what most Latias are used for. Let me see. You could also go, like I said, full investment into HP. You could actually give full investment into its special defense to make it, a really good special defensive tank. You could even put it into its into a defense to make it more well-rounded, or into its special attack to make it hit harder. You can do that. I would not suggest putting it into attack, but it does actually know Hone Claw, so you can actually increase its attack should you wish. And speaking about moves, let's take a look at some of the moves. Now, a physical Latias is rare, right? That's very rare. You will catch your opponent way off guard with that. So if you want to run it, it can, but it's rare. You got Body Slam, 30% chance to paralyze. That's not bad. Calm Mind, that's very common. I'm going to actually put Calm Mind right here. The thing with Calm Mind, what I would suggest is to, if you want to make it sort of like a supportive tank, you can run the Calm Mind, give a nice boost into its defense, and then you run the Calm Mind, so then it gets a +1 in special attack and a +1 in special defense, and then you can just start hammering away at whatever you want. Actually, no, keep Calm Mind in there. You can run Defog, which lowers the foe's evasiveness, a little bit rarer. It also removes entry hazards, although in VGC that's not really a big deal. Double Edge, Draco Meteor, very common to see. Draco Meteor hits like a truck. Dragon Claw, I suppose you could do it. Dragon Pulse, if you don't want the 2- from the special attack from Draco Meteor, just go for the more reliable Dragon Pulse. You got the Earthquake, should you wish. Energy Ball, it's kind of nice. Facade, if you're ever poisoned, because most people will try to actually slow it down or something like that. You got Frustration. Grass Knots, that's nice. We talked about Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Grass Knot will do some damage against those big guys. Healing Wish. Now, Healing Wish is, I wouldn't say how to say? I wouldn't say it's necessarily a signature move. That's more Mist Ball, and we'll get to that in a sec. But Healing Wish, it faints Latias, but it fully heals any team member, right? So, status conditions, confusion, health, anything like that, it's fully healed. It's pretty much a max, a full restore. Pretty much a full restore in a move, but you need to sacrifice Latias for it. You got Hone Claws, like I said. You got a couple of hidden powers in there. You got the Ice Beam, you got the Light Screen. Go away, no one cares about the Java update. You got a Light Screen, you got a Magic Coat, that's kind of nice, although a little bit more tricky to run. You have Outrage, should you wish. Protect, that's kind of a staple in doubles. You got Psychic and Psyshock, so you can actually hit from a special side, but not be walled by either by a special defensive Pokemon. So you got the Psyshock for that. Recover, that's really nice. Reflect, that's nice. Rest and Sweep Talk, so you can make it a Rest Talk or a Chesto Resto should you wish. Return, you can phase with Roar. You can do Roost. Shadow Ball, you can do Shadow Claw. Substitute, Sucker Punch, Surf, Tailwind, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunderwave, Toxic, Trick, so you can put like a Joy Scarf or something on there, Waterfall, Wish, Zen Headbutt. Let's take a look at Mist Ball. I think that's... there we go. 30% chance to lower the target's special attack by 1, which is not bad. It's a stab and it gets the special attack boost. So that's kind of nice. I think this is actually the I think this is the signature move for Latias. Let's actually take a look at that. Mist Ball. Yeah, there you go. Mist Ball. Get the right one. There we go. Okay, yeah, so it is a signature move of a Latias. But in any case, you can make it a pretty stable tank, right? A pretty stable yet hard-hitting tank. It just really kind of depends on what you want. There's a couple of other moves around here. Endure, Charm, Charge Beam, Captivate, Fly, Giga Impact, Heal Pulse. Helping Hand. Helping Hand is a nice one, especially in doubles. It does no Helping Hand, so it can be support that way. So there's a couple of moves around here. Icy Wind, should you wish. Magic Room, Reflect Type. Oh, actually, Reflect Type could be handy. Takes care of some of those nasty little weaknesses. So you can play with a lot. You can really play with a lot. He's no Swagger, Safeguard, Telekinesis, Twister, all that kind of stuff. Now, going on to the Mega, let's take a look at some of the stats. HP stays the same and speed stays the same, but it gets a boost in its attack, so Hone Claws could be even more useful now. Defense goes to 120, that's nice. Special attack goes to 140, really nice. And special defense is just a whopping 150. Making this into a Calm Mind tank would be a really good idea, and it will hit like a ton of bricks while also being able to take quite a number of hits as well. And again, you can keep using Reflect Type should you wish, or something like that, to play the game that way. It does actually keep the Levitate ability, so it keeps immunity to ground, which is kind of nice because Earthquake does run kind of rampant. I think I'm done talking about Latias at the moment. Latios, moving on. Latios is kind of the big brother of Latias. He's the more aggressive type, while Latias is more the wall, the supportive Pokemon. Let me see. He does again have Levitate. He does again have the Dragon Psychic typing. Talking about stats, he has HP is 80, so same as Latias. Speed is 110, same as Latias. Attack is 90, so that's a little bit higher than Latias. Hone Claws, I think it can learn as well. Yeah, Hone Claws it can learn, so you can make it into a physical attacker, which again is very rare, and you'll catch your opponent off guard. Defense is 80, so it's a little bit lower than a Latias. Special attack is 130, that's really nice. You can make it into sort of a special... No, a mix attacker, Hone Claws, and then just hit with whatever the flip you want. You got the special defensive side is 110, so it has a few... it has a little bit less defense, but it's more of an offensive presence, right? And I see Latios a lot more than I see Latias, because Latios can actually hit very, very hard. People put a lot of time into a Life Orb, right? They really like Life Orb. They can also a little bit... you know what, just Choice. Choice Band, should you wish. Again, catches the opponent off guard. Specs, that can hit incredibly hard, but again, you are locked into a choice, so that's your own decision if you want to do that. Talking about moves, it has Body Slam, Calm Mind, Defog, a lot of the same moves that Latias has. Earthquake, Facade, should you wish. Facade is actually really nice because a lot of people will try to shut you down with a Thunder Wave, right? One of the nice things about Latios is that it's fast. It's very fast if you build it that way, and it can take care of a lot of threats that way. You shut it down by actually hitting it with a paralysis or a poison or something like that, a status condition, that'll definitely hurt a Latios. Which you can counteract by using Facade. The power doubles if you're burned, paralyzed, poisoned, the whole kit and caboodle. You got Frustration, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Light Screen, Memento. Memento is a little bit different because Latias cannot learn it, but Latios can, just like Latias can learn Healing Wish and Latios cannot. Memento actually lowers your opponent's special attack and special attack by 2 stages, but the user faints, right? So it pretty much neuters whatever physical threats it's facing, but then it faints. So you need to be kind of careful with that. Outrage, Psychic, Psyshock, Recover, Reflect, Roar, Roost, Thunderwave, Thunderbolt, Thunder, Toxic, Trick, the whole kit and caboodle. It knows Helping Hand as well. Yeah. So pretty much very, very similar move pool as a Latias, but a Latias is more defensive and a Latios is more offensive. Moving on to the Mega Latias, or no, Mega Latios, there we go. Mega Latios is, let me see, again, it becomes a tank, right? Mega Latios is actually quite bulky. It has 130 in attack, that's nice. Defense is 100, not bad. Special defense is 120. Again, nice, very nice. 160 in special attack, that's really nice to capitalize on. And 110 in its speed. Now, you do actually lose the item slot because, of course, you need to have a Megastone. But if you actually do it this way, and I did not actually make this this strategy up myself. I got this one from Verlis, so shout out to him, I suppose. If you make it a bulky Latios and give it a Calm Mind, right, that then increases your special attack or special defense while increasing your special attack as well, right? So that way you can actually set up and then start hammering away, and that is kind of nice to have. Because you lose that item slot, you want to be a little bit more stable, right? You don't want to be hit and then one shot you're dead. And in that case, you kind of can play it that way. However, it is again your Mega, and Mega Latios, I don't see it very often. It's your Mega slot. If you want to use it, go for it. Make it work. If not, just stay with the normal Latios. That works fine as well. Let me see. Let's take a look at some of these guys. This is Smogon. This is a substitute Calm Mind. You have substitute, so you can do that. This is for doubles. So you can do Calm Mind, substitutes. Stored Power, I'm not a big fan of. Psyshock, that's a little bit better. And Dragon Pulse. And then you have Move Recover, so make it a very tanky Pokemon. Other than that, take a look at Battle Spot doubles. Offensive supports with a Citrus Berry and Timid Nature. Ice Beam, Psychic, Tailwind. Tailwind you can actually learn, so it's a nice way to set up a Tailwind as well. You can go Tailwind, Helping Hand. You can really do whatever the flip you want. Let me see. Moving on to Latios. Special attacker, I see this one very, very often. Draco Meteor hits like, you know, a building falling out of the sky. Psyshock, Psychic, Tailwind again, Hidden Power Ground should you want to. Life Orb, very common. Let me see. Battle Spot doubles. Special attacker, again, same thing. Choice Specs, Trick, if you want to trick the Choice Specs onto something else. Dragon Pulse, Psyshock, Psychic, Draco Meteor. So you kind of get the idea, right? Latios hits, and Latias supports. Let's get rid of that one. Let's go to the calculator. Now, the thing is, taking care of a Latias and a Latios is not that difficult. They do have some legendary stats, right? So they are a little bit more difficult to kill than just any, any dragon type. But again, they are dragons, right? And most of them don't carry a reflect type, so you can actually work with their typing, right? They have 6 weaknesses. Ice is very common. You can go with a dragon move. Just be careful that these guys are usually a little bit faster than, you know, your Dragon Slayers. So be careful. Make sure your Dragon Slayer can take a hit and then capitalize on killing whatever the flip it is. So again, they're dragons. Kill them like you would kill any other dragon. Now, that being said, of course, there are other ways as well. Latios and Latias kind of depend on their speed, although Latias not as much, so you can actually Thunder Wave them. Or at least, Thunder Waving Latios will do a lot more to it than Latias. Latias can still kind of work. Latios, it's kind of shut down now. Then you can just kill it, no problem, and there goes your Latios problem. Your Latias, I would suggest more doing something like a Poison or a Will-O-Wisp or something to break it down that way, so that you kind of put some sort of status on there and will definitely help taking care of it, right? Now I'm going to compare both Latias and Latios to each other, right? Not necessarily to say, okay, which one is better, but more just to say, what can they do? This is a doubles substitute plus Calm Mind set, although I actually did replace a couple of moves here and there. I put Calm Mind, Tailwind, Side Strike, and Recover. With Timid, Nature, Levitate, Citrus Berry, and it's healthy, blah blah blah. Let's say I already activated a Calm Mind, so that's a +1 in special attack, is +1 in special defense, against a Latios, which is a special attacker in doubles, with Protect, Tailwind, Psyshock, and Draco Meteor. Let me see, it has Levitate with Life Orb, Timid Nature, full investment into its special attack, and Speed. So this is just it's a way of looking at it. You can definitely change the IV spreads around and the EVs as well, but that's up to you. Let me see. So my Latias already has a Calm Mind up, and Side Strike will not do as much, right, even with Calm Mind up, but you can also put in something like a Dragon Pulse, right? I say Dragon Pulse, there you are. Dragon Pulse will do a crap ton against the Latios, right? Again, it's a dragon type, so it's going to do a lot against a dragon, you know, another dragon type. But this is, of course, when it has already a Calm Mind up. Let's say it didn't have a Calm Mind up. Dragon Pulse will still do a lot of damage, but the Draco Meteor is just going to come in and destroy Latias, because usually Latios are faster, and with that Life Orb, it's just going to do a crap ton of damage. It's going to be a one-shot, right? And that's kind of the power of a Latios. I mean, you are moving a stab, or you are using a stab Draco Meteor against another dragon type, so that's going to pretty much one-shot it. But still, Draco Meteor is going to do a crap ton of damage against almost anything. So using it that way will definitely put some serious hurt on whatever you want. Psychic or Psyshock won't do as much, I suppose, but it'll, you know, it's a stab move. It'll work. It'll work. Let me see. So again, you get it, right? Latias, support. Latios, offensive, right? So I think I'm actually going to cut it there. I've been recording for 24 minutes. So this one's a little bit shorter, and hopefully I didn't ramble too much, and if I did, I'm sorry about that. But I got it done, so there you go. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Next time, I don't actually know what we're going to be talking about. I don't know, maybe another one of the big legendaries out there, like Lugia, Ho-Oh, Zekrom, Reshiram, Kyurem. There's a lot of potential out there. We'll see what we can do. For other than that, let me see. Vicky should actually be getting episode 20 of what was it called? Fired Up Fire Red. There we go. Can't believe I forgot it. Fired Up Fire Red is coming soon. He's just doing a lot of grinding. He's actually fighting against the gym now, but he just keeps dying. So he needs to actually grind, and grinding takes time and things like that. So it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming, but give it a little more time. Other than that, I'm actually working on my bachelor's. I have about a month. No, actually, hold on. Let's open up my book. Let's open my book. Open the book. Open the book. Let's see. Today's the 11th, so I have about a month before my presentation is due, and my paper and my algorithm and all that stuff is all done and things like that, which I'm not going to show right now, but I will actually do, I think, a showcase of the algorithm, just to kind of show what it looks like and blah blah blah. It's still kind of buggy. There's a couple of technical errors in there, and I'm working my ass off trying to get everything working, and I'm incredibly tired because it's just that time to be tired, I suppose, because everyone's doing vacation and I'm still, hard at work doing this, so I'm tired. But hopefully I can still get some of these episodes out to you. If not, I'm sorry, but after my bachelor's is done, I plan to do a lot more work, or at least more work into the channel and things like that, and hopefully actually do it on a regular schedule. But who knows? In any case, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. And I wish everyone on the opposite side of the screen a very pleasant day. Goodbye! There we go.